Sie hören Sport und Musik.
What?
Das Spiel ist aus! Deutschland ist Weltmeister!
Mario Götze! Mario Götze!
Tonight, whether you call it football, football, or soccer, a German American and a German in America dare to call it foosball. German foosball from an American point of view. Let's add some buns to that hamburger and join them for the Schnitzel Boys Deutschland Hour.
Ah, look at us. We're integrated.
Oh,
I like
look
it.
at us. Yeah, we're trying
this.
something different again.
It looks good. Good background. I like the
All right.
integrated little, it's more professional. I like it.
Okay,
Well done.
okay. So far, so good. Welcome to the Schnitzel Boys on the Monday night tech edition version 78.2.
155.0 is what we're technically, because it's something different every week. But it is Monday night at Schnitzel night. MLS, American soccer, still in preseason. Although we did have a couple of U.S. men's national team games last week, we forgot to touch
That
on.
we completely forgot about. Cape Cupcake.
Well,
Cape Cupcake. We don't take it seriously here on the Schnitzel Boys.
who does? To be honest, half-empty stadium in Orlando, a bunch of MLS kids doing well.
Mo
Let's say they didn't do
Pochettino
poorly.
does, apparently.
Well, Pochettino. Jürgen Klinsmann always comes out, drops some hot fire. He said the only reason Camp Cupcake exists is because U.S. Soccer had a TV obligation to get 2 more games throughout the season or whatever, which could be half true at best, I'm sure. Coming from Klinsmann.
Jürgen.
And Jürgen, always the hot take. But Germany is in full swing. It is the Germany hour. You know, the advantage of being a German fan and a U.S. fan is both seasons have their primes are in different parts of the year. So you have twice the fun, twice the soccer fun.
Well, there's always more. That's the beauty. I mean, about soccer in general, it never ends. The football
never ends.
The football never ends.
MLS is ramping up, but that's not the news. Right now, the news is the Bundesliga, and more specifically, the Bundesliga 2.
Oh, the real Super League, as we like to call it, here on this podcast.
And they're all about they're in full Super League mode because the top 2 teams are Hamburg and Köln.
Yeah,
Köln, coached by New York Red Bulls' worst coach of all time, Baldy McGee. What was his name again? Gerhard Struber.
Gerhard Struber, the man who has trouble drinking water.
But he doesn't have trouble coaching in Bundesliga 2 because they are second place right beneath Hamburg SV. Hamburg SV has been in the second division for over 6 seasons now. They just can't get it together.
They were the last original team to go down.
True, and then they've gone down and they have not come back up again. But not only that, we got Hamburg leading, and they tied in points with Köln. Köln, another Traditionsverein.
Yeah,
Bjorn, your favorite verein of your childhood, right?
My childhood team. Yeah,
childhood team back in the day, with Wolfgang Overath and the gang. And they're second place.
Wolfgang Overath was before even my time. Barely, not much, but a little bit. Yeah.
My dad played against Wolfgang Overath in high school.
What?
So he's old. Yeah, he's back
Come
in the day.
on. 6 degrees of Stefan Schnitzer.
Wolfgang Overath's high school team beat my dad's high school team in the finals 5-1.
Wow.
Wolfgang Overath was a real deal. So I'm still gauging. Before my birth, it was all Wild West. So I didn't know maybe he played in the 70s. I'm kind of gauging my years here. I didn't really know. But who were your colonists back in the day?
Wolfgang Overath was part of the 1974 World Cup winning squad, but he retired.
Yeah, so he did play in the 70s.
That's what I'm saying. Because barely, I missed him barely, but I did. I mean, it was Heinz Flohr, Toni Schumacher, the goalie, famous goalie. Toni Schumacher, Herbert. Evil to some.
To his mother too. You know the story of his mother, shaming him for doing that injury to Battiston in the '82.
She should stay out of it. What is What does she have to? What is his mother? Well, who cares about her opinion?
Just
No,
like
that
Kylian
was
Mbappe, keep the mothers
that was
out
a
of it.
dark moment. That was a dark moment for sure in his life and career. I
Remember
remember
when-
about Tony Schumacher that he would tell a story that his knees were so destroyed and he had no cartilage left that he every morning when he woke up he would have to do exercises to even just be able to get out of bed. And I was
like
like,
Luis
as
Suarez.
a child, I was like, wow, that's just crazy. Like that's
commitment.
that man has sacrificed his life and health for the cause.
That's what Luis Suarez does every day today.
He does.
Maybe.
Is that for his? That's for
No.
his gums and teeth, or his entire body?
No, his knee. His
No.
knee. He's his knee
Ah.
drained every day. He plays on shots.
Ay.
Still scoring it. Still
Ay,
scoring it.
ay, ay.
Anyway,
In the words of Derek Ray, ay, ay, ay.
Aye. But we got Hamburg up top, Köln in second,
Mhm.
and Kaiserslautern fourth place. Kaiserslautern's beginning to dream.
Those are
The
some
big clubs are coming back,
big
baby.
teams. The Super League is truly super.
Next year, the ship will be righted. However, this year, with Hamburg, Köln, and Kaiserslautern making their way up to the Bundesliga, right now, the Bundesliga, we got Holstein Kiel, St. Pauli, and, Union Berlin, Hoffenheim, all these clubs having a good time up there. Trying to think, what else is another? Anywho, they're having a good time in the Bundesliga.
Appreciate you not mentioning my team in this context.
Well, Bochum's an elevator club. They go up and down. St. Pauli's not an elevator club. This is only the second time they've ever been in the top flight.
Yeah.
Good for them. But over the weekend in Berlin, in Olympiastadion, in front of 71,000 people, including 20,000 visiting fans, Hamburg got themselves an exciting 3-2 win over Hertha Berlin.
Huge game.
Keep themselves top of the table. Yeah, it was sort of the big game. That was like the biggest game of the weekend. There's definitely rumblings in the second division that we cannot ignore. And give it up for Struber doing well at Köln. Give it up for Köln. Well done. I'll have to concede Struber.
I won't, but okay.
Or it's okay.
They beat the mighty Elversberg. This
they lost them last half season, I think. Right behind Kaiserslautern.
They're doing very well. Now it's still the other thing that's been kind of remarkable about the second Zweite Bundesliga is that everybody's so close together, and that's still the case.
Yeah.
1 to 9 is 6. I mean, at some point it was only 3 points. 1 to 9. Now 1 to 9 is 6 points, but that's still not a whole lot considering that we're more than halfway through the season. So there's still a lot of contenders, and some other big, Hannover was big. Düsseldorf, Karlsruhe. These were all former. I mean, not to mention Nuremberg, Hertha, Schalke, kind of low key. Only 8 points off of. Now,
well, that's a different point I was going to make because
go ahead.
After the 9th place gap, then you find Nuremberg, Hertha, and Schalke. So they're the Traditionsvereins that are still struggling. They haven't changed much. Now, will Schalke go down the 3rd division? No, it's looking like they're going to hang out in the 2nd division again. But for Schalke, that's a Frechheit, right? How do you translate Frechheit for Americans?
Frechheit is an offense.
Disgrace? Oh, what is it?
Well, a disgrace is more like Frechheit is like if you say something fresh, like if you're like being a smartass. A disgrace. What you mean is a disgrace, right? Eine Schande für Schalke. Perhaps
Schande,
more than a Frechheit, I would say.
Yeah, Nuremberg, Hertha, and Schalke just over the relegation zone of the 2nd division. That is a Schande definitely for Hertha and Schalke. Nuremberg has seen better days, but their Tradition's fine,
But now Hertha is now closer to the promotion than to relegation, even though they're 12th in terms of points. That is the madness.
Oh, yeah.
That is the Super League.
That is the madness.
Bundesliga.
That's true. The Wild Bundesliga. Round 19, they still have 15 rounds left. And like you said, it's pretty topsy-turvy. So Hertha and Köln don't celebrate just yet.
But Hamburg does look, they have in points everybody's close, but HSV has the best goal differential. That means something.
And momentum. And they're undefeated in their last 5. Yeah.
So yeah, so this could be, maybe this is their year, but I mean, they've been way closer than this and have still not made it. So we're
True.
not. Yeah, there's a
True.
ways to go, but
But
it is fun. Yeah.
believe in Hamburg and Köln, who I'd love to see in the top flight again. Kaiserslautern, I'd like to see in the top flight. I have a soft spot for Kaiserslautern, the club of Fritz and Ottmar Walter. You know,
Yeah.
a great Traditionsverein as well from back in the day. Also, Kaiserslautern with a huge American presence there. The military, Americans like soccer now. They need to get in there with the locals.
The
It's a
mighty
great
Tom
way
Dooley,
for
the
Germans.
U.S.
Right.
men's national team legend Tom Dooley came from Kaiserslautern.
I think Kaiserslautern, didn't they? There was, it wasn't what's it, Terrence Boyd? Was he at Kaiserslautern? Is he at Kaiserslautern?
Oh no,
I don't know. But you know who was at Kaiserslautern? Who's one of the great New York Red Bulls of all time?
Oh,
Luis Robles, the great
he was in
goalkeeper. Luis Robles.
Kaiserslautern. I did not know that.
He was in Kaiserslautern and Karlsruhe before he was in New York Red Bulls. I
Before
know that because of both
was
the
that
K
bef-
clubs.
was that before or after his car salesman or real estate period?
I think it was before, because he was a real estate agent between Karlsruhe and the New York Red Bulls.
Ah, okay.
So the story goes, he went off to Germany. He played mainly in the reserves for Kaiserslautern and Karlsruhe, and they were also
Right.
lower league clubs.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went to New York with his wife because he got married and then got into real estate. But there was no health insurance. But then he saw the New York Red Bulls held trials. And if he got a contract with them, he would have gotten health insurance for his family. So he went to the trial, and the rest is history. He sat on the bench, took over from Ryan Mera, and grabbed that spot for years and became a Red Bulls legend.
A legend.
Crazy how that works sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
New York Red Bulls legend. Yeah. If you ask any New York Red Bulls fan who the best New York Red Bulls goalkeeper was of all time, most of them will probably say Luis Robles. I think.
Wait, not what's his name?
Tim Howard or Tony
No,
Mueller?
there was a German guy that they had briefly.
Frank Rost.
Frank Rost, that's
Frank
it.
Rost? No, we had Frank Rost, very forgettable. We had Ronald Waterhaus. You know who that is?
No.
He was an old Dutch keeper of some note in his day. He also played for the New York Red Bulls. Also very forgettable.
I was not aware.
Ronald Waterhaus played before he went to the Red Bulls. He was at AZ Alkmaar, Glasgow Rangers, and Manchester City in PSV before that. And he had a handful of. He was like a third choice keeper for the Netherlands. But he came to New York Red Bulls for half a season. Also quite forgettable. We need. This is I'm trying to do the Germany hour, but the best player in MLS.
You can't help talking about the Red Bulls. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, this is just a bigger thing for MLS because right now on the Red Bulls board or in the podcast milieu, the Timo Werner rumors are starting again. And people are criticizing the signing of Choupo-Moting. And they're like, hey, there's no Olivier Giroud or whatever. It's like, yeah, but we don't want Olivier Giroud.
Yeah, I mean, LAFC has not been that impressed with Olivier Giroud.
That's what I'm saying. It's 30 years in this league and people still don't get it. The best signings are the hardworking, good, talented guys who can be from Europe. They weren't stars. They were just good regulars and still have a work ethic and something to prove. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would much rather have a Choupo-Moting than Olivier Giroud because Choupo-Moting is not going to come here to collect a paycheck. At least I hope not. He is here. He took a few months off. He still has something to prove. He still has gas left in the tank. He's a good, hardworking, talented, capable forward. He's not Neymar, but he's a top quality, top flight level striker.
But
that's what you want. You
Neymar,
want a dude who really wants to put forth effort to be here, right? Or am I wrong? Or do you want the rich hero who had his name and he's just here to collect a paycheck? Who do you want?
I totally agree with you 100%. I mean, even Neymar is not Neymar anymore. But but the reality is, and in fairness, you just don't know. You just don't know what you're going to get with those guys. I mean, Choupo-Moting, he's 35. I thought Giroud was going to be a beast in MLS, but you just don't know.
He's retired. Some people are already retired.
If people are gonna, give it all they have, or if they just have that like kind of, I'm here to take it a little easy mentality.
Gareth Bale very clearly was just at LAFC for 7 months to keep his legs warm before the World Cup.
Right.
He was very lucky in that he came off the bench 5 minutes before the end of the MLS Cup final
Yeah,
and
I mean,
scored the winning goal.
he had a
So
pretty
he
good.
cemented himself a little etching in the LAFC history. But if that did not happen, if he did not finally wake up and show a little class for this, he would have been the most forgettable
Yeah.
player LAFC ever had.
I mean, he missed a lot of time. He was hurt. He wasn't available. It's like with those people at that age, you just don't know. You just never know. I mean, we're gonna see. Like Marco Reus was kind of in and out. I mean, did he
Injuries? He's old.
injuries? He's old. You just don't know. Like, what is? I'm trying to think of a positive. I mean, the NYCFC guys. I mean, David Villa obviously was a monster. Was a monster.
Yeah.
Lampard was good when he played. I thought
A
Pirlo.
lot of people would probably challenge you on that. Don't you think?
Lampard was like player of the month in MLS a couple times. Like he also missed a lot of time. There was obviously the whole thing about him not showing up when he was supposed to because City kept him for longer, and that of course really soured his tenure before it even began. And then he was hurt for a long time, so it was not like. But when he played, I thought he was definitely good, and he was trying. And but yeah, I mean, I think the other thing is people are also then very critical, of course. Like Pirlo and Lampard. I think you're right. People would say that they were kind of flops, maybe, which
their names and their primes are done. It's not like their best years are going to be here in MLS.
Right. But
same with Steven Gerrard at the LA Galaxy. Like, I don't think he was terrible per se, but like, was he worth 10 times the salary of everybody else on that team? It's like you're really just paying for a name and selling some jerseys at that point.
That's a whole other thing. I mean, that's what we said.
Also, the sun, he burst into flames. He's just like, what is this yellow ball in the sky? He never saw it before.
He was just.
Where's the rain? Where's the meat pies?
And so can we put up some clouds? It's way too bright. Yeah. No, we were saying this. We were making that point back then about Poku versus Poku, Lampard versus Poku. Poku was a fan favorite, and he was on like I don't know, $85,000 or something. And we were like, yeah, Lampard's better than he is, but is he 100 times better than Poku? Not really. Anyway,
which goes back to my point, and MLS, that's what you want. You want the dude who's got something to prove and gives you your all. I'd much rather take that person over someone with a name who's already done his or her proving. I guess his and then the MLS, the men's league. He's already done his proving, and he's there to hang out, but he's not there to play the best years of his life. Like, he's done with that. Right. So which one do you want? And which brings me to another point with Timo Werner. I'm like, we'll take him, obviously. People are like, wishing they would take him. But which Timo Werner are we going to get? Is he at that place where we're a lower quality league like MLS compared to the English Prem would make him excel? Or is he just over it mentally? Is he just out? So would he be as much of a flawed character here as he is in England right now? I don't know. I don't know if Timo Werner, he seems broken, right?
Well, I mean, he had some moments for Spurs. I thought, I don't know. He's just a
one moment, right? He scored one goal, and that was
never. I mean, he was always. We've been waiting for his entire career, right, for him to be like fulfill his promise. He always seemed like, he's going to be good.
He had a prime when he was younger, 2023. Wasn't he the leading scorer in Germany or close to it? He was the leading German. Yeah. I think he was leading German scorer of the German league. Like, he didn't score as many goals as Lewandowski did, or one or two of the other foreigners. But as far as Germans go, he scored most goals in the Bundesliga, and he was a beast for RB Leipzig before he went to Chelsea. Pre-Chelsea, I'm talking pre-Chelsea. Timo Werner was a good player, right? I don't think it was
for sure. Yeah,
we're waiting for him. He was doing pretty well.
Of course, Chelsea spent a lot of money on him because of that. Yeah, David Riccio. Hello, Dave. Hello, David. Have you guys watched the Netflix show on Robert Lewandowski? I thought it was pretty good. Maybe someday he'll end his career with the Chicago Fire. Polish flag. Yeah. I mean, I have not. I didn't even know this existed, the Netflix show
Me neither.
on Lewandowski. I've been sort of gearing up for the Christian Pulisic miniseries, which I also
I already watched that. Yeah.
I have not yet.
It was released a couple weeks ago. It's ridiculous. I watched it at home with my parents, and
No,
parents
I
are
mean,
just
like,
like,
I'm psyching
oh,
myself up to watch it.
oh, yeah.
I
It's
mean, the
fine.
Chicago Fire, now that they've missed out on Neymar, yeah. But I mean, I live in a Polish neighborhood here in Greenpoint. He could come to New York. He would feel right at home. Here in we have Polish butchers, and there are
I've
people
been
here. There are
standing.
people here in Greenpoint who work in stores that legit don't speak English, like
Right.
only
Greenpoint
Polish.
is the biggest community outside of Chicago. I think there's also a big community in Cleveland, I think, too, right? I think
So
Chicago still is the biggest one, though. But it makes you, and I've been standing Robert Lewandowski of Chicago for years. And it could still happen. However, I'm curious. We've had this lesson many times in the past. Does signing a quote unquote ethnic star in an ethnic neighborhood translate to any sort of real marketing success? And more times than not, the answer has been no. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think if Leva in Chicago would pack that stadium. Maybe once or twice. But throughout the year, I don't know about that. Like we have a lot of Korean players that come here in LA and like they live in, not a lot, but a handful. We had Hang Myung-bo at LA Galaxy. And then recently there was a guy at LAFC. I'm trying to think other examples. Like LA will sign the Mexican stars like Chicharito and that kind of stuff. And the LA Galaxy sold fine, but it's not like Chicharito packed the stadium for them. Same, I don't know. I think that stuff comes with mixed results.
yeah, I think the that's been a general consensus, right, in MLS that it's better to go for the younger, more exciting people than the over the hill stars don't really move the needle, unless you're Messi.
Like when Lothar Matthäus came to Metro Stars, and they did that specifically, that they started selling MLS games in Germany, but Germany didn't care. Same with Hang Myung-bo at LA Galaxy. They showed his games in Korea.
I went one time. I went out to the Meadowlands to see Lota, and it was appalling.
Well, he was also 39 or something. He was 40 or something.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, that's
very,
the thing.
very old.
It's like it doesn't really change any. It's not going to change anyone's mind about the league. But
I can go watch Klinsmann play in an 050 league in Palm Springs, I think, every weekend if I'd like.
Really?
I think I might do that. But that's almost essentially what that is. Like it's just like they're still around. They're still playing an 050 league. It's just they did it in MLS once or twice. But I would love to see Leva in a place like Chicago. And if Leva came to NYCFC, would he move the needle? Would he fill that stadium, you think? Anything?
I mean, once we have our stadium, that stadium is going to be full every time. It's going to, I think
I'm talking Yankee Stadium.
Yankee Stadium?
45,000.
No, I don't think. No, just because of Lewandowski, no. Not enough people even know who he is. I mean...
Well, Barcelona. There's a lot of Barcelona fans. I think that would work.
No, they would come. People would come, but not like it wouldn't be dramatic, in my opinion.
But yeah, Messi is the exception. He doesn't age for whatever reason. And he is truly quite the master. So
we'll see.
Messi's the exception, not the rule.
Is already the last year of his contract, right? The Messi phase is already coming to an end. I'm contemplating going to the season opener in a couple of weeks. I don't know. Should I do it? Miami in February sounds pretty nice. I've never been.
Yeah, you should go. Go to the beach. Like I said, my folks will be there. They'll make you a schnitzel if you want.
Oh, magic.
Yeah. So bingo. See, I can make it all happen.
A schnitzel in Miami in February.
Or what I had when I went to the Miami game last May? They had something called a Colombian hot dog. It's like this long hot dog covered in those little potato chip crisps, whatever those things are, with like some sort of orangey sauce. It was really good.
There's probably a lot of good Cuban food in Miami too, huh?
Oh yeah, second to none probably.
I bet.
The Cuban sandwich. They're opening a Cuban coffee place right across from where I live, and I'm excited.
They have some good Cuban in New York too. I mean, that's not a problem. Not a problem finding good Cuban food around here.
But in Miami, you get good Colombian food, good empanadas, good Brazilian food. Yeah, I mean, just a lot of great stuff. But anywho, Bundesliga.
Well, should we go back to the Champions League first? That did not go well.
Well, sure. Yes. Yes. Let's talk about Champions League, and then I want to touch on kind of like the theme of what we're talking about earlier with like over the hill Europeans and MLS. There's also the umgekehrt, the other way, the revers, where we have a lot of young, not a lot, but we have a batch of young Americans trying to make a name for themselves in the
Yeah,
Bundesliga. So
and
I'd love to touch on that at some point.
let's do it.
Including one or two new faces that we have not mentioned but are worth keeping an eye on. Because Bjorn, did you recognize all the faces from our thumbnail? All those
I
Americans?
was not. I all but one. I thought.
Which is the one that you couldn't?
Who is the one? Hold on. Let me. Where is it?
David Riccio, can you recognize all the Americans on our thumbnail?
Well, we
I
have
think we can compare
we
them.
have Jimmy Sands there. We got Leonard Malone. What's his name? Maloney.
Leonard Maloney, yeah.
Leonard Maloney. We got Gio. We got John Tolkien. We got Jordan.
That's right.
And
Who's the guy in the top left?
And I think that maybe is all the people I recognize.
Joe Scally is his name.
Oh, right.
He's
Joe Scally, of course.
Right.
Yeah, that goes without saying.
Right.
I know who he is.
Yeah.
NYCFC legend. So I know all but one. Who's the other guy?
The other guy made this past week's Bundesliga Team of the Week.
Oh.
He is a young American. I think he's German American, but he's like born in America. He moved to Germany, I think, when he was younger. His name is Noah something Banks. Let me get his first name right.
Oh.
Noah Banks. He plays for Augsburg, and he's getting some minutes, some key minutes on the boards. He's already has more minutes this year in the Bundesliga than Gio Reyna. And he is born in Hawaii. He came up he played for a bunch of German youth teams, comes to Augsburg ranks. But he's playing first team football with Augsburg, and he's 18, and he's becoming their young little starlet. His name is Noah Kai Banks. Noah Kai Banks. He's a U.S. Youth International right now. He doesn't have senior minutes yet, but he has himself a handful of Augsburg appearances, and he made himself on this week's Team of the Week.
Oh.
So Noah Kai Banks, Augsburg.
Okay. Congratulations. Augsburg. Okay, you said.
Augsburg.
Wolfsburg has a lot of Danes, but Augsburg has an American. Very good. Yeah, Jimmy Sands. I mean, Jimmy Sands has come up once or twice on this podcast, but he got another start. He played the full 90 in a 3-0 shutout. I believe St. Pauli has not conceded a goal with Jimmy on the field. I may be wrong about that, but I think that could be true, or certainly not a lot.
Over the weekend, he played a full 90. He did not get taken off. He started by the full 90. In a 3-0 win versus Union Berlin, starring one Jordan Pifak,
that was a little bit flattering. That result, that wasn't quite representative of the game, but I mean, St. Pauli is a lively team, and they are very far away from the relegation zone currently. And
they're on a little bit of a run. The only thing I'll say is I saw a good amount of this game. I saw about half of it. So I want to keep an eye on Jimmy Sands, and the whole team was rated well, but Jimmy Sands was the lowest rated player of St. Pauli. I think he was a 4.2 at the foot mob ratings or whatever, where everybody else was like a 4.5 and above or something. So it wasn't a bad rating.
Yeah.
But of the 11, they rated him the lowest. But it's not a big deal. He's still acclimating. It's a full 90. I still think thumbs up. It's very good for him.
Yeah, I mean, I would
not look out of place.
He didn't
look super out of place.
I watched the game too. I mean, it's still, he also, in fairness, he is in preseason. Like he has not played,
right.
And so. I mean, he is really just a destroyer right now. Like I was watching the game, and in the second half, it literally took me like 20 minutes to even be like, is he?
Right.
Did they take him off? I have not seen him in a while. But then, oh no, there he is. So like he is really just there to keep to shore up the middle and basically guard like zone 14 right in front of the box and force the opposing team out to the
turnover.
out to the flanks, or to attack from the sides, and that alone is very valuable for a team like St. Pauli if somebody can help do that. Now, his teammates do not trust him much with the ball yet. Like, there's definitely if they can avoid him in the build-up, they will. And so I think that's obviously the next step. He has to be able to be trusted in possession and be able to kind of progressive passing. That's been always a little bit of the thing that he needs to be better at. I mean, he's a decent passer in MLS, but to be like international level, he has to just be able to receive the ball under pressure and then and pass it on. And that is not yet happening a lot, but I mean, he's playing, so that's great.
Yeah, and it's funny, the parallels between that and John Tolkien. I watched John Tolkien play for 11 minutes over the weekend for Holstein Kiel. He came off the bench. I believe it was his debut. And he played for 11 minutes in a 2-2 tie between Holstein Kiel and Wolfsburg. They were down 2-1. He came on the field, and a minute later, they got the equalizer. Now, was he involved in the equalizer? No.
Yeah, he was on the field.
But his spirit was there. His spirit was there.
It's got
and he lifted the team.
That winning attitude.
I'm
MLS Cup finalist attitude.
That's right. He had his bright blonde hair. He just finished apologizing for liking all those flat Earth tweets or whatever, that the fans were really confused about.
Oh yeah.
Because America right now is a country that Europe doesn't quite understand as well as they thought they used to.
Mm-hmm.
And America's exporting some weirdos that especially Germans are very apprehensive of. And John Tolkien is just the latest example of that. They're just like, explain your social media presence. They're a little weirded out by the Americans right now. For instance, a very high-level American political figure just did a Nazi salute during inauguration, and then went to the AFD rally with a Hitler mustache a week later.
And what happened, but okay.
Well, but he was at an AFD rally.
That's true.
Yesterday, and it's not looking good. Like it's adding up a little bit. And he also never really denied it. It's a little weird. Anyway, so Germans are a little apprehensive of what's going on in the American political sphere.
Well, some Americans are too. I mean, I don't think this is.
No, we're not. We're all fine with what's going on.
Everybody's still kind of. We're
perfectly good over here.
I mean,
America, one country, one voice. Okay.
Not even. I'm not even. We don't even need to get into like what parties.
All I'm trying to say is
what parties we support or don't support. But I will say, right, coming from Germany to the U.S. just in general, no matter what party it is, like the way that things change when an administration transitions, like, just blew my mind. Because in Germany is not like that. Even when the government completely turns over, the changes are pretty subtle most of the time. And but here in America,
schools are being raided. Yes,
here in America, like if there's an administration change, you will notice. You will take note. Things will happen.
Bjorn, Los Angeles is empty. I'm the only guy here. The whole city got emptied.
Oh, everybody's been deported.
They're all deported. I walk around on empty streets around
Evacuated or deported?
Oh, both. Me and my lonely citizenship walking around. Anyway, all I'm trying to say is that so for an American like John Tolkien going to Kiel, rainy Kiel, in the top flight Bundesliga, and Germans in general apprehensive American talent because German talent's better. Blah blah blah. So I watch with Jimmy Sands and with John Tolkien and with one or two others I'll get to in a second. I'm stepping on eggshells for them. Because with John Tolkien coming up, he got his first touch. He's like, all right, he's got his touch. This ain't Minnesota United. This is Wolfsburg in the Bundesliga games. The pressure's higher. The game's going to be faster. The players are more capable. And, he had the ball, and I was a little nervous for him. He did okay. But his first touch, he passed it right away. He couldn't dribble past anybody. He passed it up the field, back, which he shouldn't do either, really, to a guy who was under pressure, and the ball was immediately turned around back to Wolfsburg. and we're like, ooh, it's like bad.
Ooh.
Ooh. But that's also
Ooh.
early game jitters and stuff. And just like Jim Stands, I hope he gets more minutes. He gets to know his boys a little more, and they start to lean on him a little more and build that trust. It's a big jump for them in their careers, and it is very exciting to look at. Another couple young Americans that we should mention is there's another guy at Dortmund named Cole Campbell, who's an American coming through the U18s. He's getting some first team minutes at Dortmund. He's getting significant second team minutes, and he's finding himself on the bench. So he's also one of those players like a Noah Kai Banks, who is slowly but surely coming up through the ranks in Augsburg. We got a couple of young Americans to keep an eye on. So I wish Cole Campbell gets more minutes. I wish Noah Kai Banks continues to be this revelation down in Augsburg. I hope that just continues from strength to strength. And good on them. Good on them. The only other thing I wanted to touch on American style wise, is Gio Reyna probably needs to leave Dortmund, I think.
In this window, he's going to go?
Yeah, it still has 3 days, right?
There was some talk, but is that going to happen?
I don't know if it's going to happen, but it should happen. I mean, under the new coach again, maybe. We don't know. Niko Kovac / Urs Fischer incoming.
He started a couple games under Sahin Nuri. I mean,
then they fired the coach.
He's got to. I don't know.
He's cold, Bjorn. He's cold. He's ice cold. He hasn't played meaningful minutes in 2 years now.
But how is that going to get better if he goes somewhere else? Like right now in Dortmund,
minutes.
But like Dortmund now is starting over. Like he has a chance. He has got as much of a chance. Who's ahead of him in that team that
Everybody.
he can't get past? Like,
has this story changed at all in the last 2 years?
Yeah, but like, I mean,
he's always been coming off the bench and not ahead.
But he's gotten a couple of starts recently. He also he missed a lot of time for injury. When he went to Forest, he got nothing. That was a terrible decision, and I don't know who advised him to do that. But
Dad. Claudio Reyna has been giving him the best advice in his young career so far.
Claudio Reyna he's got a lot of advice for people.
As I look around suspiciously.
Yeah, you might be next. But like who is in that midfield? Who's ahead of him? Like he doesn't have.
If you ask the last 2 coaches, all of them. Like Gio really only plays when there's injuries.
So where is he going to go? Where he's just going to walk into the starting lineup?
Bochum. I mean, he needs to loan somewhere and play week in, week out, and revive himself a little bit.
Nobody wants to
get some minutes in.
Nobody wants.
It doesn't matter. Just like John Tolkien at Holstein Kiel or James Sands at St. Pauli, the opportunity is to affect the game, contribute to the team, and salvage a relegation battle. The St. Pauli was dead to rights a few weeks ago. Now they're 13th. Holstein Kiel, it's going to be a tougher battle, but maybe John Tolkien with the record signing, but just enough to get him out of the hole. And then Gio Reyna to Bochum, same thing. Maybe he can give enough points to get him into the playoff spot at least. But the key is he'll be playing minutes, and he needs those minutes. He needs those games, those full 90s to start adding up so he can start playing again. He needs to get a rhythm going, a Rhythmus. Gio Reyna hat kein Rhythmus. He ain't got no rhythm. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Well,
I just don't feel what you're saying is the new coach is going to come in and Gio Reyna is all going to start just be a team star all of a sudden. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen. I think trash minutes are his destiny there.
But it's like he's got to, find some consistency. He also can't just keep going random places. I mean, sure, if he goes to
does he have consistency at Dortmund?
No, but he has a chance. He has as good a chance there as any other top team that he's going to go to. I mean, they're like a mid-table Bundesliga team right now. If he can't start there, where is he going to go? I mean, sure, if you're sending him to AZ Alkmaar,
AZ Alkmaar, yeah.
But that's a
Why
huge
not?
step down. He's like, he wants to make the big money.
There is something too, though. You see this a lot of players. Like Romelu Lukaku was a good example. Guy where they're at a big club, then they go to a smaller mid-table club, crush it there, and from there go back to a big club again, but much more prepared, more experienced, and they do better the second time around. So for Gio Reyna, the dude is talented, but he needs to build a rhythm. Let's say he does go to AZ Alkmaar or FC Twente or something like that, and he plays for a solid season and becomes a key figure and really becomes leaned on and play that kind of confidence. Then he goes back to Dortmund or another team, a Leipzig or somewhere, and then he contributes there. I think he'll have more confidence and more wherewithal to have a greater impact the second time around. Because right now he is being labeled, I think, due to his injuries and due to his prior form, his history at Dortmund, as a rotation guy, a talented guy, a young guy, but he's injured, and he's a rotation guy. Dortmund, I think, has made the decision that they can't lean on him. So I don't know. Staying there is going to be great for him. I think he does need a fresh start somewhere else.
But it's
somewhere
like, but when there was some talk about where was he going to go to Italy, there was still like 20 million. There were still like numbers thrown around, like a $20 million fee or 20 million euro fee. Like that rules out a lot of teams. Like if you feel like if he's in that kind of, if he thinks he's in that kind of stratosphere, then there's not a ton of teams that'll pay 20 million. That'll pay $20 million or euros or whatever it is.
Maybe a loan. Maybe a loan then is a better idea. Loan to Allsport.
Let's come back to NYCFC, man. He went through the academy, never played for us, went to Dortmund young. Maybe that's it. Maybe just take a step back. Play for Maxi Morales is retiring. Santi Rodriguez will play the wing. Gio can play the 10. Let's do it.
The Luca De La Torre route, I believe we call it.
Luca De La Torre. That's going to be interesting, isn't it? How is he going to do?
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. That's what I'm saying. Speaking of how teams do in Europe, I think it's time you alluded to what's going on with German clubs in Champions League. I think we lost every game.
It wasn't a good week. Stuttgart won. So Stuttgart got themselves back into contention for the but yeah, everybody else. I mean, Bayern got slaughtered at Feyenoord. 3-0, but they were extremely unlucky. It was like the XG, I think they had almost 5 XG and scored 0 goals. So that was a very, very fluky loss for them. So I think we can just kind of check that off as sometimes soccer is weird, but
fine. There's only one round left, and it's a pretty big round for most of the German clubs. Like Leipzig is gone. They've lost everything.
Well, they were gone before this.
They're gone. Stuttgart is on the outside.
Dortmund got the early lead. Dortmund and Leverkusen were both in a good position to get get one of the top 8 spots, but they're all, Dortmund had an early lead and then completely just defended and like just did nothing for the rest of the game. In a game where they were supposedly playing for their coach. It was really puzzling. Bayer Leverkusen, they had a great start at Atletico, played really well, and then they just got the Diego Simeone magic just jinxed them with the 2 late. I mean, it was just crazy, the late Julian Alvarez counterattack goals. So
the Dortmund game was a very, very boring game. The whole game
because
was
they mostly had a lead, and then they just kind of
off a penalty. They had a penalty.
Yeah.
Then they held the penalty for like 80 minutes. And it's like this team is playing like a team that's lost. The locker room's lost. They want the coach to go bye-bye. Coach has no answers, and that's what happened. And they lost. The coach went bye-bye. So a new coach maybe will reinvigorate Dortmund. And yeah, with Leverkusen and Madrid, a much more exciting game. But Atletico Madrid were the home team. So they had their luck on their side, and they won.
Yes, so yeah.
Fine.
And so now no, go ahead.
Leverkusen, Dortmund, and Bayern are still in a pretty decent position going into the last week. None of them are in a host spot, if I'm not mistaken. They're all up for a playoff spot, I believe, is what the things looking like these days?
Wait, say
Champions
again?
League standings. Let me look it up right now.
Oh no,
They're
only Leverkusen are in the top 8.
Oh yeah, Leverkusen are 8th, so
they're
they're
8th,
up for a
and Dortmund and Bayern.
spot.
And it does not look. I don't think Dortmund and Bayern even have a good chance to. Even if they win their games, 15 points probably not enough to get a direct.
Yeah, they're for playoff.
So I think they're gonna be somewhere in the playoff in the play-in mix.
Most I think 9th. So as a reminder, 1st through 8th gets a home bye or whatever that's called.
Yeah, that goes
9th through
straight into the
24th
round
gets a
of 16.
playoff game to get that spot in the round.
Yeah,
of
they're
16.
the 9 through 24. They're going to play each other in a two leg series.
Yeah, kind of like a round of 32. It's not exactly a round of 32, but it's like a round of 30.
Yeah.
It's a playoff game into the round of 16. And it is looking very much like maybe Leverkusen is a shout to host. But yeah, Dortmund and Bayern, even if they win, are likely going to be in that playing round. And Stuttgart is 2 points above Manchester City in 24th place.
But they're playing.
If they win, they will also.
They will be in, but they're playing PSG. Yeah. They have the hardest matchup. This will be fun though. They have everybody's playing at the same time because obviously the results of everybody else matter. So if we're gonna have 16 games all getting kicked off Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Pacific. And we have
quite the Golazzo. That's quite the Golazzo.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. And everybody, I mean, Stuttgart's got the hardest. The
PSV boys are still in it.
They have PSG at home and they also need something. So they're on even on
the PSV boys are in with 11 points. Celtics in with 12 points. Juve and Milan are still. Milan looks like they might even host a spot. They're 6th place. Juventus is in it. But the big surprising shot, other than RB Leipzig just getting 0 points, they got one win over the last, but it was 0 points up until then. Manchester City's on the outside looking in, and that's quite the downfall.
They had a 2-0 lead against at PSG and then lost 4-2. Yeah, it was a pretty big collapse for them. And they need well, they're playing Club Brugge at home, and if they win, they're guaranteed in because they're going to pass Club Brugge. Oh, wow!
Whoa! When you're
things just happen in our kitchen. I hope everybody's okay.
Was that a kitty cat running by or something?
No, I think it was probably my daughter. I don't know. I'll find out later. But
well, the French club Brest is probably the surprise package of the season.
For sure.
13th place.
And
Monaco's doing great in 10th place. Aston Villa 9th place. Atalanta in 7th.
Bergamo in 7th. Yeah, Atalanta Bergamo is yes, that's a weird one.
They have themselves a very good package.
I mean, I think the format's been very fun, I will say. There is just a lot of movement every time. Every goal makes a difference. It's been very entertaining. And I think I'm really looking forward to this Wednesday situation. And it's this Wednesday, yeah. And all of the German teams, I mean, the obviously everybody, I mean, Leipzig is out, Stuttgart's on the cusp, everybody else is in, but not everybody is going to make the top 8. And so I think only Leverkusen really has a chance to make the top 8. And so Bayern and Dortmund, I guess, are probably a little disappointed with where they're ending up. But yeah,
because after the playing game, they're the away team, then, right? I'm assuming. Because then
after the play, what do you mean?
They must be after the playing rounds. They enter the round of 16 as the away team. Correct. You know how there's a home and home game, and then the team that's home, the second game has the advantage.
But it's still there's still going to be two. They're going to be 2 games, no?
That's what I'm saying. So what you want is you want to be the second team home. That's the higher seeded advantage.
Oh, right. But
and I believe the top 8 I imagine the top 8 by default, as they're higher seeded,
are going to
have those positions. So even if Bayern gets to the round of 32 versus PSG, whoever they play, then they're entering the round of 16 as the away team. You
Yeah,
understand what
but
I'm saying?
I mean,
As a
sure, but
lower seeded away team.
that's not that big a deal, though. I mean, you still play a home and away. It's not like
True, but you wouldn't concede that the more favorable position would be having the home game be the second game.
yeah, sure, but I mean, it's not as big a deal as if it's only one game, like in MLS,
Right.
But yeah.
Anywho, that's all I was saying, that like this knockout round, it's going to be a more difficult path than it was in the past. In the past, it was a round of 16, right? And then usually Bayern won the group, so they host, but this time you got to play in, and then they're going to be the road team on the round of 16. So it's just a little bit more it's more games, a little more of a challenging road. But yeah, I look forward to Wednesday. And like I said, it's like decision day. It's an early season decision day, as we see if Stuttgart or Manchester City will make their way through. We'll see. Will the PSV boys persevere? I hope so. Will Ricardo Pepi score himself a off the bench hat trick in 10 minutes after Luke de Jong doesn't score for 80 minutes? We'll see. We'll see. Less insane. As far as top flight goes, over the weekend, any big results we're talking about? Bochum did lose.
Well, everybody lost. It was a big week. Yeah, Bochum lost again, of course. No surprise there. Kiel got the late equalizer. I mean, it was a big week for Bayern because everybody dropped points. The Leipzig-Leverkusen game was really fun. Ended up in a tie. Dortmund, Nico Schlotterbeck managed to get sent off. Nico Schlotterbeck got sent off twice against the same team in 1 year. And so Dortmund only was able to, for a while, they looked good and they had a 2-0 lead, but then in the end, Bremen so everybody dropped points except Bayern. Bayern got the win in Freiburg. Even Frankfurt dropped points at Hoffenheim. So
Leipzig, we equalized against Leverkusen, like I said. But yeah, this one I want to talk about. Mainz. And David Leach, I always forget. You're Mainz, right? You're Mainz or Kona? I always forget. I think you're Mainz. But Mainz is just right back to their old ways. They are crushing it. I mean, Mainz got themselves a 2-0 win over VfB Stuttgart. I mean, Stuttgart, the darlings of the Bundesliga, putting themselves in 6th place, only 1 point behind Stuttgart. So there's a lot of ways a 6-pointer for them. And Mainz right now are in a position to make themselves be available for Europe next year. And this is a club that almost had just barely escaped relegation last season. I mean, 2 seasons ago, they were like this. I think they were 5th or 6th. Last season, just escaped relegation. This season, right back to their old magic. I mean, there's just something in the water at Mainz. They really do have a secret over there. Mainz created Klopp. Mainz created Thomas Tuchel, your favorite German coach of all time. And Mainz just creates – there's something with Mainz. They just know how to punch above their weight over there in Mainz.
Apparently, they're like this year's Union Berlin or what? Yeah, last year.
But it's not new for them. They were this year's Union Berlin 2 seasons ago too. So they're just really doing it. They really know how to punch above their weight. I just wanted to give a special shout out to Mainz. We should maybe bring in a Mainzer in here to get the real expert deep dive on what's up with the water at Mainz.
What is in the water in Mainz? What
is
are they
the Carnival magic?
Is it
Festivus or whatever?
Is it the spirit of Jurgen Klopp is still in the rafters?
Or Thomas Tuchel?
The Klopp and Tuchel magic?
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah. But that's what happened. I mean, and St. Pauli also impressive. And Leon Goretzka got hurt. I was sad about that. He was, we were singing his praises last week for his renaissance, but now he had an injury. We're going to see how that shakes out. Yeah, the Bundesliga. I mean, yeah, like I said, big weekend for Bayern. So they now have a 6-point lead over Leverkusen. And so, yeah, Bayern in charge.
So the title race just got less exciting. It's just the life of a, but it's still close. You know, Leverkusen is still up there, and the two of them have yet to play each other. Yeah, right. So that'll be a big game for Leverkusen.
We haven't. There's all kinds of transfer stuff, but nothing's official. it's Nkunku at some point was supposed to go to Bayern from Chelsea. I don't know. That's maybe has cooled off a little bit. Bayern just signed this young goalie from Köln, this U21 kid who was supposed to have great
To
promise.
replace-
So he's going to Bayern. I don't know. They're just signing a lot of
replace
goalies.
Daniel
Yeah.
Daniel Peretz. Yeah, they just sign players and hoard them a little bit. Don't they still have? Who's the Stuttgart goalkeeper? Isn't he still? On the
Yeah,
books of
exactly.
Bayern, technically?
Yeah, there's Nubel, and then there's
Nubel, Peretz, the Israeli youngster, who got minutes this year. And then I think I read somewhere that Manuel Neuer was going to sign a contract extension. I was like, I thought he was going to retire. at the end of the year.
Wow. Okay.
We'll see about that. But Leverkusen Bayern, mark your calendars, February 15th, 2 weeks. That'll be a big, big title deciding game. It's coming in just 2 weeks. But yeah, Leverkusen hosting Sparta Praha Wednesday, and then they host Hoffenheim over the weekend, which you think should get them 3 points. Then the next weekend, the next midweek, they're hosting Köln for the DFB Pokal. Big game, the Leverkusen-Köln derby. There's Leverkusen is what? 4 from Köln. It's a small city right outside of Köln.
I think that they would object to that characterization.
Well,
but it's close.
Tell me. I was going to ask,
It's
how would you
definitely
characterize Leverkusen?
It's another city that's close to Köln, sort of.
So it's not a 4 from Köln, you don't think?
I wouldn't say so, no.
Well, but they're neighbors. They're right next to each other, right? You can live in Köln and work in Leverkusen.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, you could. I mean, people don't do that kind of thing in Germany as much as they do here, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, anywho, they got that game in midweek after that. So a lot of big games for Leverkusen. Then right after that, Bayern. Excellent. We will keep watching this week. How many German teams are going to make it through?
David Riccio is a Mainz guy. He loves their Danish coach. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They also have a great coach now that they kind of made. Isn't he from the? Let me look him up.
Bo
Was he
Svensson.
not from the? Was Bo Svensson the Mainz youth coach or something? And made his way up.
Is
Bo
he?
Henriksen, not Bo Svensson. Bo Henriksen. No, they hired him from Zurich.
Who's
He was
Bo
a Danish
Svensson?
guy. Bo Svensson is another coach. I remember he coached. Didn't he coach Hamburg for a bit?
All right. Well, all Danes sound the same to me, I guess.
Bo Svensson is a Swedish-American actor.
Oh, Swedish-American actor. Okay.
Hold on.
Well, anyway.
There's got to be Bo Svensson. No, Bo Svensson, Danish football manager. Here we go. Bo Svensson, he coached Union Berlin last. But I think he was fired. But he was the Mainz coach for 2 seasons. So you are right. Bo Svensson was the Mainz coach. However, the current Mainz coach is a different Danish guy named Bo.
It's a different Bo.
It's a different Bo, a different Dane named Bo
Which
Henrik.
one's the one with the fluffy hair? Is that's Svensson, right?
Fluffy hair. You're asking me. Bo Svensson looks like he has thinning hair and a beard.
To be continued. We're gonna come back.
It's probably this Bo Henriksen then, right?
He's got the
Let me Google images hair. We have to get to the bottom of this. Yeah, Bo Henriksen, big flowing hair.
All right. So I was wrong after all, because that's what I was thinking of. That's who I was thinking.
Well, the current coach is Bo Henriksen. They got the flowing hair.
The fluffy hair. Yeah, that's right.
Former
He's
Danish
been
coach,
very
did not have
successful.
flowing
He saved them from
hair.
relegation, and now he's flying high with his hair.
Yep.
Anyway, all right. So big Champions League. I think everybody's going to make it. I think except Leipzig. I mean, Leipzig, we knew we're not gonna. But I believe in Stuttgart. I believe in Stuttgart. They can get a point against PSG. I hope that Stuttgart will make it, and the other 3 are pretty much in. And hopefully Leverkusen will make the top 8. But I think this format will be fun. It's going to be the Golasso show of all Golasso shows, and I'll be tuning in. Also, we can't sign off without announcing the big news, which is the NYCFC beat the LA Galaxy today in preseason 2-0, and everybody knows that means we're going to win the MLS Cup this season, because preseason results mean everything.
I've got even bigger news.
Oh,
that that in the New York Red Bulls, I think it was against the LA Galaxy, tied them 1-1. But in the first half, the goal was scored by one Choupo Moting, assisted by one Emil Forsberg.
Amazing. The Euro.
So they're right into it. They're right
the
into
Euro
it.
seniors are crushing it. On that note, we're gonna sign off. Has the tech held up? David Riccio kept responding, so hopefully it's all good. Fingers crossed. This is the new way. Well, lovely to talk to you.
Last quick thought.
Yeah.
You know, with the whole all German teams getting through with Leipzig, I believe that too. In America, we say believe. In Germany, do they just look at each other and say glaub? No, right?
No.
Is there people hiding outside that say glaub?
No, that doesn't happen.
What do they say? Do they say anything?
More like Hoffnung. I think it's more hope.
We hope.
Yeah.
Well, I'm also rooting for the 5 German teams. Mach hin. Stuttgart, Leverkusen, Dortmund, Bayern. Is that it? Just the 4 of them?
Not Leipzig. Leipzig's got nothing.
Yeah. Make it you 4. Mach hin.
All right.
Tschüss.
Tschüss.
Nächste Woche.